Alright everyone, welcome to another video of Full Speed Impulse, and today we're back with the XR100 and we gotta get this front suspension dialed in because our last couple rides on this thing, just feeling the bike out, seeing what we need to do next to it, the suspension's not great. So if you watch our videos, you know the front forks, we put the BBR heavy duty springs in, but that's all we did. We put that in there with some 15 weight and we called it good. But when we rode it out on the trails, the front end was super bouncy. And it's kind of actually a little on the stiff side. So it's not great. Us doing a lot of trail riding and all that, we don't need the suspension to be crazy stiff. We need it to be able to absorb the rocks, the bumps, and all that stuff so we could rip it really good. So after going through a bunch of forums, seeing what other people are doing with these bikes, we decided what we're going to do is that we're going to pull out one of those BBR springs, throw a stock spring back in there, and we're also going to switch our 15 weight fluid to 20 weight fluid. And actually, it's pretty difficult to find the right measuring specs for oil in this thing. So I seen one guy saying that he swore that this was the way to go. We're going to get all the fluid out, collapse the forks without the springs, obviously. Put our fluid in, and we're going to measure 4 inches from the top. Now, I know when we did this, it was way under that. And you see people saying like 8 inches, and there's some measuring specs and all that. We're going to go for 4 inches, put the springs back in, button it up, and we're going to see how this thing feels, because right now it's just not great. It's not doing it, and we want to get this bike ready for our next off-road trip down in Rush, Kentucky, and we plan on doing a lot of riding on this bike. We love our KLX 140, but we got to give some love to the XR100. We got to do some ripping on this thing for you guys, because it is a fun bike. It just needs to be dialed in a little bit, so let's get at it. Yeah, and seeing our XR100 bike, here she is. She's looking pretty good, guys, still. Like I said, not a lot of run time. Great power out of this motor, but we got to get that suspension dialed in for it. So, pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to take our wheel off here, and then we're going to slide our forks out and get that all out, pull the caps off. Then we will get the fluid all drained out and start from the beginning. All right, guys, so here's what we did. We got our stock spring out. This is our stock one. And you can see with your stock springs how they're tightly wound like this on the bottom. You're going to make sure you put that one in first. So you're going to put that spring actually down just like that. Same thing we did, since we don't have a tape measure that goes that small to make it down there, we just measured 4 inches on this right here. So we're going to fill that fork tube collapse without the spring, and we're just going to keep on checking it until we get 4 inches down in there. So you're just going to stick that in there, and you want to see a little fluid there on the bottom, and then we'll be good. So I'll show you guys here in a minute. See the threads? They don't have any fluid on them. All right, we're going to dip in, and we actually go, there's our 4 inch, and I kind of give it a little extra dip. So then it gets right there on the threads. You can see it's dripping. The reason I dip it down in there is because at the 4 inch mark, you would just be trying to look and see if it was slightly wet at the tip, which is kind of difficult. So if you dip it down just a little bit more, you can see those threads get a little bit more soaked, and then it's dripping actually when you come out. So now we're going to stick our spring back in there, cap it off. Make sure you put your spring in there softly, and it actually is better if you uncollapse your fork. That way you don't take a chance of spilling any fluid out. All right, guys, I'm glad I checked it. Look where that fluid is at. And that is no bueno. There is no room for your fluid here if this spring compresses all the way with the cap on. So we were messing around a little bit here, and I think we actually have a little bit more fluid than we actually even were just putting in. We're gonna go 5 inches down, maybe even 5.5 inches, and we're gonna see what that does. Because 4 inches, you're gonna put a lot of stress on your seals, and that's no bueno. So we want it to be probably more with the spring and the fluid kind of sitting down here, I would think. But like I said, we're gonna pull it out. We're gonna do about 5.5 inches, maybe 6 inches. We'll see how that looks. All right, so a perfect example, don't believe everything you read, because 4 inches would have blew our seals way out. Now, I'm no expert. We're going off logic here, guys. But right now, that fluid is sitting, I think it looks like somewhere down in this region right here. And I might still be a little bit on the full side maybe, but we're gonna send it. But I think it's gonna be good. So even with this compressed and all that, it should be good. And it actually might be a little bit further down there, but like I said, we did 6 inches this time. Should be good, boys. All right, we're gonna get this button up, get the other one done, and see how this thing feels. All right, guys, we got those front forks on, and it definitely feels better, but I don't know what's going on with our forks. There might be something wrong with these things, but either way, it is a lot more plush. So it's definitely got like that beginning, it's really soft. It's hard to show you guys. So like you can see right there, it's like a little slot movement. I'm not really fond of that. Might need to put a couple washers in there to kind of tighten that up a little bit to get rid of that. But past that point, and then you start compressing, it's got a lot of good feeling in it. But to be honest, we're not gonna really know exactly how this bike is until we take it back on the track, rip it around a little bit. Thankfully, we have a trip in about a week here to test this bike out. We're gonna put it in the comments and let you guys know on how this bike is doing. Hopefully it's better and gets rid of that pogo stick feeling with those BBR springs, which is no bueno. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. You guys have any tips to throw at us on how to get these forks feeling any better besides just swapping them, and let us know in the comments. But you know the deal. I appreciate you, and until next time, we'll see you later.